Well, now that solo leveling is over and you guys don't have any servers to break, how about taking a break? Everyone keeps talking about the mainstream shows nonstop, but no one ever mentions the true gems that were overlooked. And I'm going to change that. So today I've got the top 10 most underrated action anime you guys need to watch right now. So without further delay, let's get started. At the top of the list we have Gasaraki. Now, is it just me or has the number of mecha anime been decreasing way too much recently? We need more mecha anime. We can't let this genre die no matter what. Anyway, this show is what really happens when you mix Neon Genesis Evangelion and Ghost in the Shell, with a heavy dose of political intrigue and realistic military tactics. But unlike flashy mecha battles in Gundam or Code Geass, Gasaraki treats its war machines as instruments of real-world military operations moving with weight and consequence. And the way this anime dives into its dense, methodical storytelling is something you definitely won't see in the crappy shows you guys watch these days. The show also explores themes of government conspiracies, corporate power struggles, and ancient supernatural forces. At the center of it all is a pilot caught between his duty, his mysterious past, and a greater cosmic fate that unfolds throughout the series. But everything said, this anime does have some pretty serious pacing issues, so if you find long conversations between characters hard to watch, maybe this one isn't the best pick for you. However, for those who appreciate intricate world building and a grounded approach to mecha warfare, it remains an underappreciated classic. It may not have the spectacle of the mainstream mech shows, but Gasaraki offers an intellectual, thought-provoking take on the genre that deserves far more recognition. So give this one a try. Then at number 9 we have Zetman. So the superhero genre is probably the most underutilized genre in anime. One Punch Man was basically a parody, My Hero Academia is more of a shonen anime, but this show, Zetman, took the darker, grittier route. It is a no-holds-barred deconstruction of superheroes, focusing on morality, sacrifice, and the cost of power. It follows two central characters, a genetically engineered being with immense power, and a wealthy heir obsessed with justice. So a classic anime rivalry in a clash between instinct and ideology, raw power and calculated control. However, unlike typical shonen rivals, Zetman treats its characters with brutal realism. Their idealism is crushed under the weight of reality. The action is visceral, with brutal, bloody combat that sets it apart from typical superhero anime. And unfortunately, the anime adaptation compressed too much of the source material, cutting out crucial character development and backstory. This left some of the themes underdeveloped, which is likely why this show never got the recognition it deserved. However, for those willing to look past its pacing issues, it remains a hidden gem. So, be sure to watch this one. Next up at number 8, we have Speedgrapher. If there's one anime that psychopaths, Texnalize, and Paranoia Agent fans should watch but probably haven't, it's this one. This series takes the grimy underbelly of Tokyo and turns it into a nightmarish playground where power is literal, corruption is absolute, and the elite indulge in horrifying desires. This anime is a deep dive into the dark side of human nature itself. Unlike battle shonen or standard power fantasy narratives, Speedgrapher explores the consequences of absolute greed, excess, and moral decay. The powers granted to different characters are basically the gruesome extensions of their twisted mentality. Whether it's a man who turns into liquid gold or a woman who can control carnivorous plants, every ability feels like a manifestation of their deepest desires and flaws. And yet at its core, the show isn't about supernatural abilities. It's about a world where the rich and powerful exist above consequences, and where those who dare to challenge them are crushed. Despite its intense subject matter and unique premise, Speedgrapher was largely ignored upon release. Perhaps it was too bleak, too unpolished in its animation compared to other shows of its genre. But still, you guys need to do me a favor and give this show a try. Because in an era where anime like Chainsaw Man and Devilman Crybaby are praised for their dark, violent tones, this anime deserves the recognition as well. After that, at number 7, we have Alt Noah 0. Now, this is a prime example of how expecting too much from a series can be the main reason for its downfall. But first, let's get the plot out of the way here. Earth is at war with a technologically superior Mars Empire. A high school student with an almost machine-like tactical mind manages to defeat them through sheer ingenuity. So it had all the ingredients to become a modern classic in both the shonen and power fantasy genres. While it delivers breathtaking battles and stunning animation, this anime also struggles under the weight of its own ambitions. But the best part of the show is definitely how it showcases both sides. It's not the classic good versus evil battle. Both sides have goals and ambitions of their own. On the opposite end of the main character, we have the show's true tragic figure who is caught between loyalty, love, and the brutal reality of war. His descent into obsession and his desperate attempts to prove himself make him one of the most compelling characters in modern mecha anime. But with all that great setup, Aldnoah Zero stumbles in its second season. What began as a gripping war narrative turns into a frustrating cycle of questionable character decisions and rushed developments. The world building, which had the potential to rival other great shows, is sidelined for dramatic twists that don't always land. But despite its flaws, this show is still pretty watchable, and it's hard to see how people just ignore this. So if you like a fun watch filled with great action, give this show a try. Then at number 6, we have Garo, the animation. What happens when you mix a fusion of dark fantasy supernatural horror and samurai-era drama? Well, this anime delivers something few anime attempt, actually, and let's say that it for once actually delivers what it was supposed to. The story revolves around the heir to the legendary Golden Knight title who struggles with his own demons as much as he does with the monstrous horrors. Unlike the conventional hero's journey, Leon's path is riddled with loss, anger, and self-destruction. But the thing that's truly awesome about the show is its commitment to world building, the oppressive rule of the tyrants, the mix of political schemes with supernatural horror, and the struggles of the people caught in between. They feel more in line with Attack on Titan's themes than a typical fantasy anime. The action sequences, choreographed with a mix of swordplay and supernatural power, are definitely a treat to watch. But despite its incredible visuals, deep themes, and powerful storytelling, Garo remains criminally underappreciated. But for once, I don't blame you freaks for this. This anime never actually received the marketing push needed to break into mainstream anime discussions. However, for those who love dark, mythic fantasy with real stakes and emotional weight, Garo is an absolute must-watch. Next up at number 5, we have Ajin, Demi-Human. For those who overlooked this anime up until now, let me tell you that this is not just another supernatural action series. It's a psychological battlefield where morality is basically a luxury and survival is an art. So basically here, Ajins are humans who cannot die. An average high school student discovers he is one after a near-fatal accident. He becomes the target of a ruthless government eager to dissect and experiment on his kind. But unlike other protagonists in similar stories, Kei doesn't turn into a brooding, reluctant hero. Whoever says that it's way too similar to Tokyo Ghoul, you are absolutely right. But at least here, the main character doesn't end up as a half-demon just because he wanted to get laid. Jokes aside, unlike becoming a typical shonen hero who wants to save everyone, the main character becomes a cold, calculating survivor, unafraid to manipulate others to stay ahead. But for me, the best character in the series was the smiling, elderly terrorist who is as charismatic as he is horrifying. A veteran of countless battles, the dude treats mass murder like a game, exploiting his ability to die and resurrect with horrifying efficiency. But all that said, the animation style using full CGI was a little bit off-putting. However, while it lacks the fluidity of traditional animation, it gives Ajin an eerie, unsettling quality that actually enhances its themes. Despite its gripping narrative, thrilling action, and unforgettable antagonist, Ajin never received the widespread acclaim it deserves. Perhaps overshadowed by flashier, more marketable shows, it remains one of the best kept secrets in the psychological thriller genre. After that, at number 4, we have Gungrave. Now, if you are a sucker for revenge stories, this one is for you. No need to watch the whole review, just go and watch it. You'll definitely like it, and for the rest, let's just talk about it. So what starts as a simple revenge story quickly transforms into one of the most compelling character dramas in anime. At the heart of it is Brandon, a quiet but deadly enforcer, and Harry, his ambitious best friend who turns into his greatest enemy. The series follows their rise from the street punks to high-ranking members of the Millennium Crime Syndicate, and their inevitable downfall. It's impossible not to draw comparisons to Cowboy Bebop in terms of tone and execution. The first half of the series is drenched in noir-style storytelling, where the only two things constant are bullets and betrayals. And when the supernatural elements come into play in the second half, the series shifts gear into a sci-fi-infused revenge tale. However, the emotional weight never disappears. The final confrontation between Brandon and Harry isn't just another anime duel. It's years of pain, regret, and shattered dreams coming to a head. Despite being animated by Madhouse and boasting an emotionally gripping narrative, it's criminal how much the show is underrated. Maybe it was overshadowed by Samurai Champloo in the same era, or maybe its slow burning storytelling just wasn't as marketable as high-energy shonen. I don't know. But frankly, it needs to change. So, you should go check this one out whenever you get a chance. And at the third spot of today's list, we have Ergo Proxy. Now, this anime is not for those seeking some casual entertainment on Sunday evenings. It's a slow burn, heavily philosophical, and intellectually demanding series that expects you to engage with its themes. Set in a post-apocalyptic world where humans live in dome cities controlled by an authoritarian government, the show follows a cold, sharp-witted investigator and a man with secrets even he doesn't fully understand. They are drawn into a mystery involving androids gaining self-awareness and godlike beings known as proxies. The world building is dense, with layers of social commentary on artificial intelligence, free will, and what it means to be human. The atmosphere is thick with oppressive tension, and the art direction leans into gothic cyberpunk aesthetics. However, what makes this anime so unique is its commitment to its themes. It doesn't spoon-feed explanations, instead it forces you to, for once, use your actual head to piece together its cryptic messages. And with how great the show is, I still don't get how you folks manage to overlook it. Like you guys are more interested in watching 10 seasons of Rent-A-Ho or High School of the Dead. The second one is actually good, but you get my point, right? So I beg. Then at the second spot, we've got Darker Than Black. Now this anime is basically Cowboy Bebop with a bunch of supernatural stuff mixed on into it. The anime showcases style, mystery, and action while maintaining an intriguing, interconnected world of assassins, secret organizations, and contractors, who are individuals who gain supernatural abilities at the cost of performing obsessive rituals after using them. And the protagonist is a deadly assassin working for a shadowy organization, but beneath his cold, efficient exterior lies a man burdened by his past. His electric-based abilities make him a terrifying presence in combat, yet his motivations run far deeper than simple survival. Now, I don't know about you, but the first few episodes kind of reminded me of Psycho Pass. The world building is phenomenal, presenting a society reshaped by unexplained cosmic events that gave rise to the contractors and erased the stars. So Season 1 is a near-perfect blend of noir aesthetics, espionage, and existential mystery, featuring some of the best fight choreography in anime. But Season 2 unfortunately made questionable changes, reducing the main character's characterization and sidelining key characters, which led to Darker Than Black fading into obscurity. However, the first season alone is enough to cement it as a must-watch, so go and give it a try. And at the top spot of today's list, we have Bakano. This anime is pure, unfiltered chaos in the best way possible. It is a show that abandons the traditional storytelling structure in favor of pure, high-energy madness. Set in the Prohibition era, this show follows multiple characters across different time periods, weaving their fates together into an intricate, blood-soaked puzzle. There are gangsters, assassins, immortals, cultists, and more, all colliding in a whirlwind of crime and supernatural mayhem. And the soundtrack in the show is basically a character in itself, a jazzy, fast-paced masterpiece that perfectly complements the non-stop action. The fights are explosive, the dialogue is razor-sharp, and the animation, despite being from 2007, holds up beautifully. And yet, despite all of this, Baccano never got the mainstream attention it deserved. And honestly, there's no idea why. Just why do we keep sleeping on shows that are just actually good? But whatever the reason, Baccano is a hidden treasure of anime, a show that never slows down, never overstays its welcome, and never fails to entertain. And that's the list for today, guys. If you're able to make it this far, please be sure to comment down below on which anime you think should have been on this list. And also, don't forget to like the video, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press on that bell icon and set us all to be notified about all our latest new videos. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.